What if that whole "you shouldn't let kids lift until they hit puberty" was not only complete and utter but it turned out that you actually stunt your child's strength potential if you don't have them lifting before puberty? If that sounds like some crazy talk, then check this out. When my son was 11, I got some advice that one of the best things you can do to improve your child's athleticism was to find him an Olympic weightlifting instructor. At first, I thought that sounded like really weird, but what the guy explained to me was that there are actually 5 basic movements a kid needs to learn how to master before they reach puberty. These are how to lunge, squat, hinge at the hips, push, and pull. And you see, because Olympic lifting requires that you master all of those movements, it's one of the best tools to help children build coordination in those foundational athletic movement patterns. But wait, so many people say, won't that potentially damage their growth plates? Well, as more and more research is pointing out, like this study that I'll provide the link to here in either the description or a link in the bio, it turns out that lifting young is more about neurologically programming the body to move correctly than it is about stacking out a bunch of heavy weight. But that if you don't teach the kids these movement patterns before they reach puberty, you actually end up stunting their future strength potential. And that's something like all those country boys who baled hay all summer long figured out like a long time ago, because country strong has been a for sure thing for quite some time now. Plus, since a good coach won't load more weight on the bar until a kid's form is perfect, you have very little risk of injury when you lift with good form. In fact, you actually are more likely to get injured because you don't know how to move right than you are by putting some weight on the bar. So, like the true contrarian I am, I decided to take this advice and found a local coach for my son who could teach him all the aspects of the different lifts, right? The coach started small, without much weight, and gradually would progress him through lots of different movements of all the Olympic lifts until by the time he was 12, he could do them all proficiently. What you're really after is you want to get kids to master those movements so that the second puberty hits, you can start to stack on weight while their bodies are being flooded with all those natural growth hormones that come with puberty, right? So this allows you to take full advantage of that one time in their life that they get to take that stuff legally, like my oldest son was able to do. This is a shot of him. This is in August, 6 months before heading into his freshman tryouts for his high school team. He's 166 pounds in this photo, where because he had been lifting since he was 11, he was able to stack on 19 pounds of muscle because he was able to expose his body to more weight in the weight room with good form than the average kid's his age because we prepared his body for it. Where in 6 months, we took him from 166 up to 185 pounds. And the results are showing up on the field too, where as a freshman, he has gotten up to 80 miles an hour off of the mound. And at the plate, his power numbers are really at the top of his class for kids his age, where he can now hit a ball over 94 miles an hour, which we measure on hit tracks. And he's even cracked the top 25 hit tracks leaderboard for how far a 15-year-old can hit a ball, coming in at 370 feet. And oh yeah, this works for the girls too. I actually have 5 kids myself who all lift at different ages. And Brielle, my 13-year-old daughter, who's been in the gym since she was 9 doing all this same stuff, is actually ranked 3rd on that hit tracks leaderboard for how hard a West Coast 13-year-old girl can hit a softball. She's cranking balls out of the park, no problem, with her 5 whatever little frame she's got. So while other parents are keeping their kids away from that dangerous weight room, my kids are in there lifting 3 days a week and surpassing all those kids who used to be stronger and more athletic than them when they were younger. So guys, please hear me when I say this. Your kids don't have to be victims of the athleticism you do or do not think they were born with. It is a developable skill, and the weight room can play a big role in helping them reach their full potential. So don't ignore it, because it can completely change their athletic trajectory.